I wouldn't really consider myself a die-hard fan of the Pokemon series, but I'd be lying if I said it hasn't always been a present force in my life. I was lucky enough to witness its introduction into the Western world, as well as having first-hand experience of a phenomenon many were calling Pokemania. It's hard for that not to resonate at least a little bit, so I hope it's clear that I'm not at all implying that I don't like Pokemon. I watched the anime every morning before school. I kept my Pokemon card binders in a drawer clumsily littered with my duplicates. The manga was the first I had ever read before I even knew what a manga was. I carried the official handbook I got from the book fair with me everywhere. I got really mad whilst playing Pokemon Crystal and spitting the cartridge like a grade A dipshit. I was even there opening day for Mewtwo Strikes Back. And the bizarre thing is how common this sort of fandom was for just about every kid in the late 90s. The brand new world of Pokemon was here, and it hit the US like a goddamn sledgehammer. Every so often I'd spend the night over at my buddy Travis's house, he himself being more of a Pokeboy than I was. Which in retrospect it was really odd considering just how aggressively Baptist the family was. I mean, you couldn't do a damn thing at this house. Their TV was set up to censor any offensive language. We had to hit the hay into the wee hours of 9 p.m. on a Saturday? Why so early, you say? That's because of the early morning Sunday church service that I got dragged into every fucking time I stayed over. For once in a lifetime, however, his parents finally approved his request to stay the night over at the godless, lawless wasteland that was the Buchanan estate. The night promised far too many Hot Pockets, way too many surges, farting and burping up a fucking storm, and to what would be the highlight of our evening, Pokemon Snap. I was beyond excited. It was the first time I'd ever had a friend stay over, and to be in my own element, not under the thumb of fucking Ned Flanders, where I could hoot and holler every cuss word in my 7-year-old vocabulary, completely tainting this poor little Christian boy. It was shaping up to be a solid first sleepover, and it turned out to be loads of fun. Oh wait, rather it would have been loads of fun had it not played out like this. What? I wanna go home. What a disaster, I thought to myself. It's barely 8 o'clock. We can't call it quits yet. My mother would escort my friend in his walk of shame down the street. Returning home, she immediately noticed the sheer disappointment on my face. She walked me up to my room, put me down to bed, and walked over to shut off my N64. However, instead of silence, I was greeted with the slow buildup of the Pokemon Snap intro. And I can't really recall exactly how it led to this, but for the remainder of the night and throughout the week, my mom decided to join me in traversing the new 3D world of Pokemon for the first time. Up to this point, she'd never really shown any interest in video games, nor Pokemon for that matter. As far back as I could remember, my mom and I's tradition had always been going to the movies. Her troopering through at least 4 screenings of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man in the first 2 weeks it came out. And yet, there she was, controller in hand, playing Pokemon Snap as my fat little ass sit there watching, taking my turn every level or so, offering tips and talking her ear off about which Pokemon I'd already seen in the anime or which cards I'd had, until eventually she'd snapped that final pick of Mew and the game concluded. So what exactly was so special about Pokemon Snap? Initially being developed as a project called Jack and Bean, which you can take your best guess at whatever that was supposed to be, it later transitioned into the fated Pokemon spin-off. You take control of Todd Snap, a recurring character in the anime, as you're commissioned by Professor Oak to snap photos of various Pokemon around Pokemon Island. Each level you're confined to a railway path in the 0-1, as you must observe your surroundings carefully for any and all monsters in the vicinity. Some right in front of you, some in tall grass, some even far off in the distance. As you progress throughout the game and start to take pictures that aren't totally worthless, you're given items that present new methods to discovering hidden Pokemon, ways in which you affect the world around you and at times can even aid in certain Pokemon's evolutions. The game itself really places a lot of trust in your own intuition. It's not set up in a way that you can ever really lose, your only motivation being your own curiosity. The environments themselves inform you on what to do next, how to proceed, what to pay attention to. Replaying levels over and over, unraveling new secrets of each location. And honestly, it was simply just that, snapping photos of Pokemon, watching how they interacted with one another and the nuances that would define each creature. And part of its appeal was witnessing them for the first time in a 3D rendered environment. The simplicity of Pokemon Snap being a testament to the overall accessibility of a franchise that would span multiple generations. All something I never would have experienced had I not had such understanding parents that never judged who I was or what I liked. I reached a point in life that I've almost completely lost those feelings of being a kid. I'm cynical and angry. The things I used to enjoy just sit on a shelf shelf in a room that I hardly have the time or energy to visit. And even with all that lame-ass self-pity and longing for a childhood I'd left behind decades ago, I'll always have that week I played Pokemon Snap with my mom, for no other reason than she didn't want to see her son's night be ruined. I think really my whole point is just appreciate your mothers every day you can, because they're not going to be there forever. You know, call them every once in a while and ask them about their day or tell them about yours, because I promise you they're always wondering where you are and what you're doing. So to all the moms all over the world, happy way belated Mother's Day. And to Miss Angie, I'm not sure how great a son I turned out to be, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being the best mom a boy could ever ask for.